It is 3:40, Cass.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you start? You have to tell me these things.
Man.
I was waiting for you. I thought you were gonna be like,
Three,
okay,
two, one.
yeah, give me a
Nah.
signal or something.
Nope.
The computer's
I
facing
need
towards
this drink,
you.
though.
What? You're impossible. I don't like.
I'm actually pretty possible.
Oh, you're so funny.
Cass, what are we doing?
Great question, Ryan. What are we doing? We are sitting here. We're chilling.
Right, so Cassie and I have been in the talks for about...
I'm sorry, I forgot we were talking to an audience. Okay.
Why'd you stop?
I thought we were still doing a test run.
No, we just wanted to record these just for our own personal benefits. That's the only
yeah.
reason.
Oh, cool. Well, as I was saying, well, you really like podcasts, so I think that's part of the
I do.
reason why we started this. I would like to personally point out that I hate podcasts.
I don't understand that. You're making a podcast.
I realize I'm here.
You're on like the end of the spectrum.
I know.
You're on like the part that doesn't make sense.
Oh, hey now.
What you can't say, "Oh, I hate podcasts," but here I am making a podcast.
Well, I'm here because like you seem really excited. I was like, hey, time to
Wait, so what? You don't.
I
you
want
just
to
want
talk. I want to talk. No. Shh. I want to talk and I want to spend time with you, and this is my way of doing that. I couldn't get on board with this podcast thing.
I'm disappointed.
Well,
don't
I don't actively seek out to listen to podcasts. Like there are those people who are like walk in and they listen to podcasts instead of listening to music, and I personally can't do that.
I'm like that
because
type of guy. Okay.
You're
So
that type of guy.
Well,
You're
no,
that guy.
No. I was just gonna say I'm that type of guy that would, if I was given the choice of music or a podcast, I would choose a podcast.
Ugh,
Why
you're
wouldn't
so,
you?
You're so boring. Music all the way.
No. Okay, so here's my reasoning.
Ah.
A podcast is so a podcast takes time where you would be listening to music, and which is not productive at all. It takes
I will argue.
Hold on. Let me finish my argument. It takes a boring, unproductive. Hold on. Let me get my arguments out, and then you can continue. Okay, got it? Okay. It takes a boring, unproductive segment of your day, whether that's driving or whether that's just walking down the street, into a productive, sometimes knowledgeable and fulfilling time.
Yeah, but that's what
It
music
fills
does.
time with knowledge.
So does music.
Music is just a beat. That's
There-
all it
there's
is.
some people out there who's gonna like trash you
hate-
for that. Music.
Nothing personal against everybody that believes podcasts
Music is beautiful.
are terrible,
Ryan is dumb.
or vice versa. This is just my opinion. I think you're wrong.
Well-
Hey, I appreciate music. I like music.
Oh.
I enjoy music.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of the time, I am like when I'm driving to the commuter station, I'm listening to music. That's just how it is.
Uh-huh.
And I would listen to a podcast, except I have a bar set high for what podcasts I listen to. I like to listen to podcasts that are funny and that it's kind of like this, a conversation between two people. If there's
Well, then that's not educational.
no, well, I'm getting to that. There is a podcast. It's called Unobscured. I'm listening to it. I am on episode 4.
Sounds fun.
Wait. No, just a casual plug. It's a great podcast. It's about the Salem witch trials.
Ooh.
Their whole idea is that the Salem witch trials are understood. They're misunderstood. The general idea of the Salem witch trials is that the public doesn't really know what exactly happened at the Salem witch trials. So, like, the producer, I forget who makes it.
What do you mean? Like, why don't they know? Everyone knows what happens at the sound.
See, that's what you think. You think you know everything. You think you know the reason. And this podcast, I'm telling you, it takes what you know and flips it upside down, dude. It's unbelievable.
I don't trust that.
No, you should. You
It's the
have to
Salem
listen to
witch
it.
Trials. What is there to be disputed?
They go so in depth. You would not believe. It would feel like they're telling a story that was less than 10 years old. That's what it feels like, and in reality, it's more than 300 years old. They're giving so many specific details. They're pointing out people that you would not believe existed. Like they're going through their daily lives as if they are living right now, but they were living 300 years ago. There was no video. There's no audio. There is no documented evidence of these people besides written records. And here they are telling a story. That's insane.
Not gonna lie, I'm a little confused right now, but I'll trust
I
you.
have a horrible way with words. So basically,
I trust you on it. I trust
no.
you that it's
I'm really
interesting.
bad at describing
And
things.
no, I'm happy that you are interested
Unobscured.
in podcasts.
Really great podcast.
About-
Not a sponsor. If you're willing to sponsor us, we will take your sponsorship.
No one's gonna sponsor us, Ryan.
No, they won't.
What are you
Um,
talking about?
But seriously though, first of all, the guy that's doing it has created multiple very, very successful podcasts.
Mhm.
That being said, he goes through and describes the Salem witch trials as the entire timeline.
So it's pretty much a history lecture.
It's a history lecture, but it's not, because he's literally going week by week. Not exactly week by week in each episode, but
How
he's
can he know week by
slowly
week
going
if,
through.
as you said, there's only written documents and there's no.
Well, no,
other-
there's also witnesses. Like there are people that just kind of passed on the story, and they interviewed some people
Hmm.
on the Salem witch trials,
Hmm.
like great grandfathers or great grandmothers that were there to witness the Salem witch trials, or family that had been killed by the Salem witch trials. But I think it's awesome because instead of giving this brief synopsis of the entire event of the Salem witch trials, I think it lasted for like 80 years or something, or maybe it's
Salem
60.
Witch Trials?
60. It started.
Oh, I actually don't know. I don't think it was that long, right? Oh,
No,
yeah,
it
look
was a
up.
long time though. It was a very long time.
I was thinking when I was thought of it, I was like, oh yeah, like a couple months.
Here I am looking up on the internet the Salem witch trials. I should have gotten this from my podcast, from the Unobscured podcast. Great podcast, highly recommend.
It's like you're whispering into the microphone, just like, yeah, highly recommend.
No, it's a great one. The internet here is horrible.
Our internet is fine.
Our internet's not good. Okay, Salem witch trials. Oh wow, I was wrong. But no, this dude was going back to like 1640, and the Salem witch trials were 1692 to 1693. But there was so much
Ooh.
backstory to it. There was
Also,
so
it
much more
wasn't-
than just
so
the
it wasn't
year.
80 years.
No, but it was a long time. Hold on.
Clearly it wasn't.
No, it totally was. Background. This is Wikipedia.
You're going on Wikipedia.
Yeah, shut up. Okay, so he talked about the earliest witchcraft execution. That's where it all started, and then it snowballed into this huge
Into
accusation,
the-
and it peaked in 1690s with those hundreds of people being accused. But the earliest recorded one was 1647.
Who was it? Did they say?
I doubt they say. I mean, the podcast did say, but
Haha.
it really is a good podcast, and I highly recommend it. But anyways,
How'd we get on this?
we were talking about podcasts and how you hate them,
much
and I
hate
was like,
them,
oh,
yes.
here's
Oh,
one
yeah,
I'm
I didn't
listening
get to argue yet.
Oh,
Okay.
now you're point. Okay, so now that I've
Now that- okay,
put
so-
out my very extensive and very great argument,
Okay,
let's
I
hear
just
your
love
rebuttal.
listening to music. That's my whole argument.
That's your argument.
That's my argument.
That's it.
Yeah, and podcasts just seem boring to me.
Do you know how many people listen to podcasts?
No.
A survey was taken, I think last year.
Hmm.
65 million people listen to podcasts,
And I bet a
and that
whole
and that and that is
Lot
very
more listen to music.
and that is very close to the actual numbers. 65 million people listen to podcasts.
I bet a
on the
bunch of
records.
million more listen to music.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Well,
but
yeah.
but podcasts have been on the rise, dude.
I don't know.
65 million people.
It just seems boring to listen to people talk to you.
Maybe it does. And hey, listen, we did an Instagram poll, what, a week ago, and I
It was a
think
couple days ago.
the results were almost half of the pollsters said that they did not like podcasts. And look, just because if you're listening to this just because you're listening to this, we understand that that does not mean you like podcasts. This is just because you're curious or you drop by and say, "Oh, how are the Gamaris twins going?"
Oh yeah, how are we going? How are you doing?
Hold on,
Ryan?
hold on.
No, I
We
wanna
did do a poll though.
segue.
Half the people that we polled did not said that they did not like podcasts, which is fine. We respect that.
Of course,
We accept that.
I share the opinion.
Yeah, exactly. If this gets you into podcasts, that's awesome. If you're just following this for our life story, that's awesome. We're not trying to get you into podcasts. We don't care what you
We don't.
do.
Care
Well, no,
about
we do
you.
care, but we don't care if you don't like podcasts. We're not going to try to force this upon you. Is kind of what we're trying to say here.
I really don't like this lighting.
Why? It's just lights.
It's fluorescent.
Okay,
It
okay, okay.
makes me
There
feel
are these stage lights, and there's a singular light bulb that
it's
she
like
wants
an
on so
orangey
bad.
light because it balances out the harsh light over here.
There's a light bulb above us that we're not using because it does not match LED, and that's fluorescent.
I
No,
hate
not fluorescent.
LED.
What is that called?
It's normal light bulb that we should be
Oh
using.
man, I feel stupid. It's one of those, the old fashioned with like the.
It's not old fashioned. It's a light bulb.
Well, that's an old fashioned light bulb.
It's not an old fashioned light bulb.
It's not an LED light bulb. These are LED.
Yeah,
Actually, I
LED
think those
sucks.
are halogen.
Whatever it is, it's
They're bright white.
Yeah,
The stage
and
lights are bright white.
I'm calling
These
you. I'm gonna get a
ones-
headache.
these
from
ones are off-white.
lights.
I don't
Just
understand
the
why.
the off white makes.
Go
it,
get a drink of water. Go get a water.
Why?
If you're getting a headache, just go get a water.
Or we can just fix the problem and like turn that one off and then turn that one on.
No.
Because there are lights
Nobody
over there
thinks that
too.
we should turn that. Nobody thinks that we should
I
turn
do.
that off. No. We're
Yes.
keeping it off.
Why?
Okay, Cass. What were we saying? Oh, you were asking me how my day was.
Well, I was asking you how you were doing.
I mean, doing
Doing good.
great. I mean, school is good. We're 12 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten to the topic yet.
No, this is good. I think we should turn on that light.
No, but we will consider that for the future. Okay? Done? Okay.
No.
We have
'cause you're not gonna
Cass, we
consider
gotta
it.
get into the podcast, dude. We have stuff to talk about.
We don't really have stuff to
We
talk
do.
about. What are we gonna talk about, Ryan?
Okay, so we have two topics.
Well, it's gonna be. I thought we were gonna split it into two.
We are. So on the day that this is going to be released, this whole thing was pre-recorded. When you're listening to this, this is
No,
like
but
a
I
week
don't
in
even think
advance.
It's recorded live. Like, if we
No,
listen
but they
to it-
think that like, oh, we recorded it and then
They don't
immediately put it
think
out.
anything.
That's not how that works. That'd be stupid. We'd be stupid if we did that. That's torture. No. What we're doing is we're releasing two podcasts on opening day. You want to call it opening day?
You'll
Opening
listen-
day.
You'll listen to podcasts at some point in your life.
Yeah.
Hopefully these ones.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We would really appreciate that. But we are releasing two, and they're two different topics.
Mm-hmm.
And the two topics are college versus high school and what our experiences have been so far,
Mhm.
and the Massachusetts. I forgot the word.
Like the ballot, the
The
voting
ballot
thing.
questions.
Well,
Thank you.
I think that's way too political if we get into.
No.
I think it's way too political, and I think we could offend some people.
I don't.
Offend a lot of people. We could talk about voting and how it's important, but that'd be
We
really
could.
boring.
That
And
that
that'd
would be
like
pretty boring.
5 minutes tops.
Cass, this wouldn't be boring though.
Yeah, it would.
Dude, we don't know what we said. Okay. Election day was on November 6th. It was on a Tuesday. It was this
Yes.
past Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
We vowed to not tell each other what we voted on for the questions
we
because
just
we
want-
were like, oh, we're gonna talk about it on the podcast, and then
No.
Cassidy, here she is chickening out.
I'm not.
Why are you chickening out?
I'm not chickening out. I'm just saying that it could get wicked political way
Okay,
fast and wicked
here's the thing.
offensive.
We don't care. Okay, politics should not have any effect on how you view people. Do we agree? Politics is
Slightly
completely different from personality. Do we
Well,
agree?
Well,
If you're friends with someone and they have different political views from you,
okay. This is.
you
I-
shouldn't just not be friends with them.
Well,
That's stupid.
Well, it's to an extent because I think politics have gotten so polarized these
Yeah,
days.
that's stupid. That's
that,
so
that just
dumb.
values get like intertwined with like who you are as a person. Like there has been deep values intertwined with politics.
Okay, but
nowadays.
okay, so extreme leftists, like very hardcore Democrats. Nothing wrong with that. If you're a hardcore Democrat,
Love
I
ya.
appreciate you. What? Okay.
What do you? No, make your point. Make your point.
Okay. Extreme leftists, extreme leftists. I don't think they're extreme. I don't think there is an extreme. Well,
Okay,
actually, I
no,
think
fine,
there
fine.
is an extreme, but it's highly
Okay,
unlikely
okay,
you'd get
we
there.
it.
They believe that people who back up Donald Trump are idiots, and they think they're so idiotic that they just assume that everybody that supports Trump is an idiot. Is stupid. You're stupid for supporting Trump.
Don't take.
I'm
that
not
out-
saying I'm not
don't
saying that.
take
That's not
out of
me.
context.
Yeah, don't clip that and
Well,
just have me saying that.
I don't think-
Now that I've said it, they're gonna do it.
Well, no. Now that you've said that, now I feel like I have to go on this whole rant.
Well, let's do it. This is what we're gonna do.
No, because that's just so exhausting.
Cass, why do you think that people who back up Trump are stupid?
Okay, you said that, not me.
I didn't say that. That's what people are saying.
You literally just said those words. We could go back in the little.
No, I didn't say that as my opinion. I just said that people think
People
that.
do believe that. And
I think
people
that's
believe
dumb.
the opposite. Like hardcore
Yeah, hardcore rightists.
Republicans. Rightists.
I mean, nobody calls them that, but that's what it is. Left and right. Right is Republican.
I think just nowadays everything has gotten so heated, and
Yeah, definitely.
everyone hates everyone who doesn't think like them and doesn't have the same
Yeah.
opinions, and I think that's wrong. I
I
think
do too.
there's is entirely too much hate in this world. I think we all need to
Hmm. There's
Chill.
a lot. No, you go. You go.
and just like calm down, and at some point we all need to take a deep breath and talk about our problems in a civil manner and not attack people personally, because that's not a good way of approaching these things, you know?
I agree. I think if your political views are getting to the point where you're just assuming that people that disagree with your political views are dumb or inferior to you, and you're just judging them based off of their political views, I think that's very ignorant.
Then again, political views are
Yeah, they are a part of your personality, but that
Yeah.
shouldn't be an automatic turnoff.
well,
Well, I'm just saying.
well
I'm just saying, dude.
I think it's a huge part of who you are, at
Yeah.
least in this
Not a huge
day.
part. It has become a huge part because of the 2016 election. That's when it blew up. That
Yeah.
is when it became out of hand.
Yeah. Fun times.
Great times.
I think it's just nowadays talking about politics, it's like opening an entire can of worms because everyone's on edge, everyone's heated.
Yeah, it's really.
And they should be
tension's high.
heated. You should be heated about these things. These are important topics that you should all be cognizant of, that you should all be having an active preparation in, an
Yeah.
active role in. But at the same time, you shouldn't let that hate encompass and control you,
I
because
agree.
that's unhealthy. Yeah. That's what I think.
That's a nice feel.
Oh, I like it.
Spiel?
That's-
Spiel?
Spiel? Spiel. Spiel.
What is
Spiel.
it called? I feel so
I
stupid.
think there's a P in it.
I know how
Yeah,
it's
that's
spelled.
right.
I don't know how it's pronounced. Oh, it's a Pokemon. Oh, that's gross. It's just a Spheal. An ice water Pokemon species. Category, clap.
Oh, wait, it's so cute.
What does that mean?
It looks like a little walrus. Little fat little walrus.
Maybe I spelled it wrong.
It's adorable.
Spiel. Maybe I'll just misspell it and then see
Is
what
it
pops
EE?
up. Oh, maybe it's Spiel. No, that can't be it though. Yeah, it's a Spiel. S-P-I-E-L.
Oh, I was way off.
Wow, I thought it was Spiel.
Oh.
It's pronounced Spiel. Oh, no, it can be Spiel. But that's the informal version.
Oh.
Wait, hold on, ready?
I was not expecting that. That scared me a little bit.
That scared me. It scared me.
Okay, that you don't.
Okay, so
need-
Spiel or Spiel? Spiel.
I say
That's what it
Spiel.
was. I say Spiel too.
whenever that happens to pop up in my vocabulary.
No, I just like saying big words that make me sound very smart.
Relatable.
Yeah, I would hope so. Okay,
What were we talking about?
we were talking politics,
Oh,
which is what I think this is what the topic should be because we're 20 minutes in. I know, time flies, dude.
time flies.
It feels
when
like we
you're
just
having
sat down and started recording.
Yeah.
But anyways, do you want to get into the ballot questions? Let's get
No,
into the ballot
no,
questions.
right,
No,
'cause
Cass,
it's-
let's get into
'cause
the. Okay, question one.
fun. It's personal. It's too personal, right?
It's not personal.
Yes, it is.
I don't care what people think of me. Don't-
Alrighty then.
Don't take that out of context. I would like to come off as a warm and thoughtful and energetic and kind
you do,
person.
and you do come off.
Thanks. That being said, if someone hates me, I
Like
really
He's
don't
a
care.
jerk in real life.
Yeah, I'm a horrible person, guys.
Yeah.
We fight a whole lot.
No, he's a good person. We get along.
We get along
Swimmingly.
very well. Okay.
Mm.
So let me just get.
I think it's just way too personal to get into.
If you don't, do you not want to get into it? I'm down to get into it.
We could discuss what each means.
Okay, but if we're gonna go into the questions, we may as well say what we said. I think. Okay, so I'm just gonna look them up right now. Okay, I'm looking up the questions.
Fine.
Okay. So election day. I think we've already said this.
Did we?
Yes, November 6th. It was
Tuesday.
4 days ago from at the time of this recording. It was a Tuesday.
It's grand old time.
I know a lot of our listeners may possibly be underage and not. So some of you may be underage and not be able to vote. That's obviously fine. You can't control that. That's horrible. Why are you doing this?
How dare
So
not
you
be
might not know what the
underage.
questions are, but you may have seen the stuff like, oh, say yes on question 1, or no, say no on number 1. I haven't seen it for any of the other questions. Number
Yes.
1 was probably the most controversial question.
And the most confusing.
Okay.
If you sat there and read it full
Yeah,
out.
they were okay. 1 and 3. I'm gonna come out right and say it. Probably the hardest questions. Number 2 is an easy question for me. We'll get into that later. Okay, so question number 1. So there was a law proposed back in 2016. It basically protected. Oh no, that I'm thinking of number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 1. Oh, this is a brand new law. Okay, now that
This
makes
is the
okay. This is exactly the type of guy that you'd want to be reading our questions. You know, it gets confused between 2 questions. Okay, so question 1 is basically saying the amount of nurses. Sorry, the amount of patients that can be assigned to one nurse is limited. Right now, you can a hospital can assign a nurse as many patients as it wants to keep up with the flow of patients. So they give bullet points of like the different scenarios. So in units, so this is a quote. In units with step-down intermediate care patients, there would be 3 patients per nurse maximum. In units with post-anesthesia care or operating room patients, 1 patient under anesthesia. Anesthesia. How is it pronounced? Am I pronouncing it wrong?
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's anesthesia. Is it?
It's Okay, now you're confusing-
Anesthesia. I'm going to say
Anesthe-
anesthesia.
it-
And if
I
it's
think
wrong,
that-
I'm wrong, okay?
I think that's wrong, but continue.
Whatever. 1 patient under, you know, what, one knocked out patient, we'll say. So 1 patient that's knocked out and okay, so let's start that over. In units with post-anesthesia, or patients that are knocked out, post-anesthesia care. I said it differently.
Ryan, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm worrying about the little things. In those operating rooms with patients, a nurse can get a maximum of 1 patient under
Anesthesia.
anesthesia, or 2 that are recovering from those effects.
Mm-hmm.
In emergency room, 1 critical or intensive care patient per nurse, or 2 if the person has been assessed. If the nurse has assessed each patient's condition and is stable. 2 urgent, non-stable patients per nurse. 3 urgent, stable patients per nurse, or 5 non-urgent, stable patients per nurse. One of those scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
If you can have a maximum of 5 stable patients, a maximum of 3 urgent but stable patients. You can have a maximum of 2 urgent and non-stable patients, or 1 that is literally on its deathbed.
Love Ryan. Continue.
Well, that's what it is. That like
You were so blunt.
critical or intensive care patient.
You could have just
That is a
said
very
that.
serious scenario.
Just say that. Ryan.
Fine, we'll say that. Sorry if that offends you. So that. And it goes on. So it basically limits the amount of patients that a nurse can get.
Yep.
That's the proposition. And it sounds very simple. Oh, of course. Why wouldn't you? Right? Is that the reasoning that you immediately came up with?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We don't know what we said. We're about to find out.
Oh, wait.
Cass.
Hold on. I want to clarify because I kind of forget. Yes would mean.
Okay, yeah. Actually, good point. So, a yes vote would put all of that into effect. A yes vote would say, yes, I want nurses to have a limited number of patients for whatever reason. A no would say, no, I don't want that.
What was the result?
So, okay, so we're going to get to that.
I forget.
We're going to get to that at the very end.
Okay.
Cass, what did you say on question 1?
I think I said no.
You said no.
I did.
Is that a think or a definite?
It's probably. I honestly forget.
Are you serious?
Okay.
What was the first one that you bubbled in?
I don't remember.
Oh my god. Do you remember any of them?
I definitely remember the last two.
Okay, so
This one, I was like,
you were up in the air?
I think I said no.
Why didn't you read it beforehand?
I did read it beforehand.
Oh, and you were confused still. You should have asked me. I would have given you a briefing.
Yeah, but I was like, I can figure this out. I'm an adult.
So you said no.
I said no.
I said yes.
Hmm.
So we disagree. That's
Oh.
fine. Nothing personal. This is not a personal attack on anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't. Okay. If you said yes or no on any question, I don't care. I'm not grilling people like, did you say yes? If you said yes, you're an idiot. You're a stupid human being. Why do you exist? I don't care. It's your opinion. And honestly, mine didn't go through.
Oh, it ended up being.
Oh
being
shoot!
no?
I just spoiled it. All right, so hold on. So
right,
there.
everyone should know the results. So I don't think it's
Yeah,
a
so hold on.
spoiler at this point.
So yeah,
If
after
it's a spoiler at this point,
if it's,
my friend,
you should really know.
please keep updated.
Okay, so there was. Where's the? Okay, the results.
Can I explain myself? Because
Yeah, we'll do it after, and then we can explain.
Okay.
So question 1. Come on, where are the results? Sorry, it's taking longer. Oh, is this it? No, that's not it. Oh, okay. Election results. This should be it. Oh yeah, this is definitely it. There's a good New York Times one. I had it and I lost it. Oh, okay. Number 1. Oh, it gives you like a map of where. Oh, that's sick. Okay, so the results on question 1 specifically. 70.4% said no. That's 1.8 million voters that said no. 29.6% said yes. So I'm in the minority here. That's 775,000.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the map of Massachusetts, the majority of the yes votes came from places like Wendell, Leverett's, even in Northampton. Mansfield didn't have any votes. Neither did
Mansfield. Get your act together.
Russell. Didn't have one. New Ashford didn't have one. Rowe, I'm not surprised. But yeah, so that's surprising. Specifically in Western Massachusetts, more people said yes. I don't think there must be a correlation to that. Like, there's probably a lot of hospitals, but I would think
know
more Boston.
Boston is a
Boston
highly
is-
hospitalized area,
Yeah.
and yet most of us voted no.
Yeah, Boston is like the place in Massachusetts to go for healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many awesome hospitals in Massachusetts, in Boston. But yeah, so 70% said no and 30% said yes. So I was in the minority here. So do you want to go first?
Well, my
Just
reasoning,
quick
well,
explanation.
my reasoning was I think the law needed to be reworked because there were a lot of different loopholes and
Mhm.
different subsets that needed to be worked through, and they need to work on doing that. And I agree there should be some adjustments to. Sorry, I have not been speaking directly into this microphone, and Ryan just
No problem.
yelled
It's
at
okay.
me.
I don't know why nobody else caught that, but it's fine.
Where's
Not
I
mad.
going? I had a reason. I was on a good train of thought, Ryan, and you interrupted
No,
me.
continue.
It was confusing. They need to work on it. There needs to be changes. I don't know enough about nursing conditions.
Okay, so I was actually talking with someone. I think a general thing in this podcast is that we're not going to give out names unless we're talking very highly of them. and
Okay.
we feel like they should be plugged.
Okay.
But I think if we're just like, I was talking to Bob the other day, Bob Sheldon.
What? All right, continue.
But we're not
continue.
just gonna say names because we want to protect people's privacy, and they have no idea that we're shutting them out, even though it might be good.
Okay.
But I was talking to someone. Her mom is a nurse. They're both very nice people. I'll tell you afterwards who it is.
Okay.
You know, we can just cut it. You want to cut it out,
No.
or maybe like bleep it out, bleep out their names.
Okay. Who? Yeah. Who?
Grace Viviano.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's an amazing person, and I love her dearly.
Do you want to?
Oh, now I was just saying this because I thought no one would say.
Do you want to go on like a little separate tangent on how
Oh no, I think she's an
She's
amazing person.
she is? No, she totally is.
Yeah.
Her mom's awesome too.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
I said that.
That's so creepy.
No,
They're
her mom-
amazing people. Let's move on.
Her parents are awesome. Anyways, her mom is a nurse. Obviously, I think. Oh, I want to go into this. I have so many bones to pick with this question.
Continue.
But I was talking to her, and from the get go, I was pretty much positive about this question. I was like, I definitely want to vote yes on this question. And I was talking to her, and I was like, oh well, and we basically came to a conclusion. The no votes were. There was a lot of false advertising for this one.
I agree because there was a lot of signs.
There was so much advertising. So let me
Mhm.
give you the breakdown. Obviously, right? Hospitals themselves are not going to want this to go through. They're not going to be allowed to give as much care to patients if limits are attached to how many patients nurses can get. If a nurse can only get 2 patients and there's only 3 nurses, this is a very extreme scenario. There's more like 30 nurses per
Okay.
hospital. But to keep things simple, if a nurse in an emergency care is only allowed to have 2 patients and there's only 5 nurses in that entire hospital, of course a hospital owner is not going to want that to
Well,
go
then
through.
the hospital should just need to hire more nurses.
That's the problem. They lose money. That's their issue. And hospitals make an
So I
incredibly
fall-
large amount of
So
money.
I fall and prey to large corporations.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah!
So hold
I
on.
hate when that happens.
Let me continue. The reason why the no advertising was so big was because hospitals were advertising no. Obviously, a hospital's not going to want this law to go through because they don't want to put limits on their nurses. They want to assign patients to as many people, to as many nurses as possible. Keeps business going. They're making as much money as possible. As possible. No nurse that I know said no. Nurses want this. Being a nurse, I have so
I
much
think-
praise
I
to give
think
to nurses.
someone who was a nurse said no, but continue.
I don't know anybody. I mean, obviously
I
I'm
know
biased.
someone.
I'm biased because I said yes. But the majority of nurses said yes.
Well, clearly not. If Boston was shown to be.
Well, yeah,
no.
but nurses doesn't make up 30% of the population. Nurses makes up like 1%, and not even 1%, maybe like a fraction of a percent. And a fraction of that percent was nurses. And then the rest of that was people that understood the whole
Okay, continue.
but-
I didn't understand.
but
it personally.
big hospitals. The whole stat was every single hospital in Massachusetts says no on this question, does not support this law. Of course they're not going to support that law. They want to assign patients to nurses nilly-willy. Of course they're not going to say yes. Hospitals want to make as much money as possible. Saying yes to this for them would be making less money, and they want to make as much money as possible. And the other thing, hospitals have an immense amount of money to spend on advertising. Nurses don't. Nurses don't make a whole lot. They're stressed out in their current jobs because the amount of patients that's assigned to them is incredibly large. They just don't have the money to spend on advertising. So they want to advertise the yes vote, but they don't have the know-how to advertise their yes vote because they don't have the money. They don't have the outreach. Their hospital that they work for is saying no because they want to make more money. They don't care about the nurses' working conditions. They just want to say no.
Do you know that for a fact, or are you just saying that?
That
Are you assuming, Ryan?
there are some assumptions, but it's
Yes.
fair assumptions. It's not like I'm saying
I think personally, I think there should have been more education on this topic because I don't
Yeah.
think the majority of Massachusetts is
Well, no, the reason why there wasn't is because the advertising for the yes was very limited because nurses
I
can't
also
afford.
think the spread of information was no. There was none.
Oh yeah, there should have been a lot more support.
I
I'm
need
sure
to
there
be
was. in
educated
Boston, but-
before I vote.
Yeah,
I'm
you should.
just
I don't know
dumb.
why you waited for the last second. That was
I
not
did.
the play.
Yeah, that's not the play.
But that's why I said yes because I feel like I know behind the scenes, I know that the big hospitals just want this to go through because they just want this to fall through because obviously they want to make as much money as possible. And I think it would be fair to assign limits. I just, at the end of the day, that's what I think.
I'm just scared of people not being able to get the help that
That
they
was
need.
a big argument point for the no side. People would be waiting for so long. And if this law had passed, hospitals would just be forced to expand their hospital and or hire more nurses. And they have the money to do that. They just don't want to admit it. Am I getting too conspiracy here?
Yeah. Oh well.
Dang, I feel stupid. I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I can't be the only team that said yes on this, can I?
I don't think so.
There had to be some. I know of a couple people that said yes, but it can't be just that. Like, obviously, I'm biased. I'm going to a pre-medical school. I'm biased, okay? I'll admit it. I'm biased. I'm going into a medical field. Right?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Everyone's biased in their own little way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Are we done with question 1?
I think we're done.
That was a cute conversation there. Okay, question 2. Question 2 for me
I
was
said yes.
a piece of cake. Why would you not say yes? Okay, so question 2, it basically limits the amount. It's basically proposing a limit to the amount of money politicians can spend on their campaign.
And if I recall correctly, there was
Basically.
a second part that corporations do not have the same rights as humans.
Corporations too. This was an easy one for me. I
Same
said
here.
yes because they're spending less money. They can put it towards something else. That's my
Yeah.
that's my
All right, cool.
basis.
We agree.
We agree.
Hooray.
All right.
Question 3.
Question 3. Question 3. Oh boy, oh boy. Question 3. So, question 3. Here's the summary. This law adds gender identity to the list of prohibited grounds for discrimination in places of public accommodation, resort, or amusement. Such grounds also include race, color, religious creed, national origin, sex, disability, and ancestry. A place of public accommodation, resort, or amusement is defined in an existing law as a place that is open to and accepts or solicits the patronage of the general public, such as hotels, stores, restaurants, theaters, sports facilities, and hospitals. Gender identity is defined as a person's sincerely held gender-related identity, appearance, or behavior, whether or not it is different from that traditionally associated with the person's physiology, or assigned sex at birth. This law prohibits discrimination based on gender identity in a person's admission to or treatment in any place of public accommodation. The law requires any such place that has separate areas for males and females, such as restrooms, to allow access to and full use of those areas consistent with a person's gender identity. The law also prohibits the owner or manager of a place of public accommodation from using advertising or signage that discriminates on the basis of gender identity. This law was passed on our birthday in 2016.
No way.
It's been up for 2 years, a little over that. That's all you need to. So basically, like TLDR did not just listen. TLD not.
What? I don't even know what that means.
You know what that TLDR means?
What does that mean?
Too long didn't read.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
how am I supposed to know
In this
that?
scenario, TLDL, too long didn't listen.
I listened.
No, for the viewers out,
Oh, yeah,
for
they
the
probably
listeners out there.
It was
If you
kinda boring.
didn't understand a single word of what I just said, don't worry, I really didn't either. Basically, it's saying, okay, so the law that was
Cannot
passed,
discriminate based on
basically,
gender identity.
you cannot discriminate based on gender identity.
For me, this was a no-brainer.
And
know
this
what
is
you're gonna
where
say. I know we're gonna have.
I know we're going to have beef. I'm sorry. I really wanted to say yes. I said no.
Why?
I'm sorry. I really wanted to.
Why,
really wanted to.
Ryan?
Okay, so let me get
I
this.
said yes. Yes means that we keep the law, right? I said
We keep the law
I
as
said,
it is.
I said keep the law.
Hold on, Cass.
Because I'm a good person.
Okay, so hold on. So before you unfollow us, oh, this is going to hurt us, isn't it? Oh, man.
No, continue. Because
so-
I'm here.
So before I give any explanation, I do not care about your gender position. I want. Hold on. Let me. I don't. I really don't. If you're trans, great. whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you live the happiest life you can possibly live, I fully support that.
I agree.
fully support that. LGBTQIA. I don't care where you reside in that. If you're straight, gay, lesbian, I don't care. Whatever
Live
makes you
your
happy.
Life, whatever makes you happy.
Live your life, whatever makes you happiest.
Acceptance.
I completely support that. The reason why I
But
said no,
you voted.
I voted no. Here's the reason.
Okay,
It's not
I
because.
want to clarify. We kept the law, so
Oh yeah.
we kept the law.
Oh right. So hold on. Quick. Back step. Question 2. The
It's
yes vote was 68%. Question 2 had a no of 32%.
What's the stats for this one? Question 3.
For this one, this was I think the closest one. Oh no, sorry. Question 2 had 71.5 for yes and 740,000. Sorry, that did not make sense. 71.5% for yes, 28.5% for no on question 2. Question 3. Oh, I just got those mixed up. 68% said yes, 32% said no. This was the closest one. Like, it blew question 1 out of the water, which I thought was going to be the closest one. Right? Yeah. So, it's withheld. It's upheld. Sorry, I just said 2 different words, didn't I? Upheld and withheld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's staying.
The law
there.
stays. The law stands. I'm fine with that.
Good. Why
I-
did you vote no?
Okay, so so in retrospect, I think I acted a little too harshly, or maybe I thought too long about it. I'm not saying I want discrimination. Ideally I want discrimination out of this world. I don't think you should discriminate. Period.
Then why did you vote?
This actually had nothing to do with discrimination. This had to do, in my mind, with safety.
Okay.
So hold on. Let me explain. Let me explain
Why
my position,
can't I
and then
ever argue my position?
because I want to get my point out there, and then you can rebuttal. You send a rebuttal my way.
Fine.
Only interrupt me if you're like Ryan. You're just straight up wrong.
Okay.
Okay, no, never mind. Not for this scenario. Because you know I feel like I'm
You're very wrong.
wrong.
Sorry. Continue.
So I don't want discrimination, but in this scenario, I think for right now, the society, as it is, needs this to be a no. That's what I thought. This was a safety thing for me because if a potential rapist or child predator can just walk into a bathroom,
They can do that anyway without.
I know,
that
but now
law.
there's an excuse. They can just hide behind that law. Like, oh, I'm having gender questioning.
They
I'm
can't
questioning my
do
gender.
that.
They can though because of this law. That's what I was
That's
thinking.
That's not the law. The law is there will
The-
be no discrimination in public places.
In restrooms was the big one.
Places.
Public, whatever. Okay.
Everyone automatically associates it with the bathroom law. I think that's dumb.
What else is there?
Public places.
Like what? Public places. Hold on.
Everywhere.
Public. I think you're.
Restaurants.
I think. Hold on. I think you're
Do
getting.
you want me to name every
you're-
single
you're getting
public place,
confused.
Brian?
You're getting confused.
I know. I'm getting.
You're getting confused. The law was any public place that sorts by gender. A bathroom sorts by gender.
It was they can't discriminate.
In public places that sorts by gender. No, you just touched.
Oh no! Can you still hear me? We're good, right?
We're good. Okay. She just
Okay.
touched something that she. Hold on. I'll read it to you. This law prohibits discrimination based on gender identity in a person's admission to or treatment in any place of public accommodation.
Boom.
Hold on. The law requires any such place that has separate areas for males and females
This is
to allow
different.
access to and full use of those areas. Areas that are sorted by gender.
I see it as a law that prohibits discrimination, and I automatically sign myself with it.
That is a great stance. I just gotta say that's a great stance. No, legit
Are
though.
you being sarcastic?
No, I'm not. That is a great stance.
I'm about to fight you.
No, I'm serious. That's a great stance.
Okay.
If it has discrimination in the, I think if discrimination is in it at all, then
No discrimination.
I wanted that. I just thought about the safety part a little too much. In retrospect, I probably should have said yes.
The law doesn't enable people to go and
But it now gives them an excuse
and
legally.
commit crimes.
It gives them an excuse legally.
It
That was
does
my
not.
thing. I was like, dang it,
It
I don't
does
want.
Not. If they commit a crime in that place, they've still committed that crime.
No, but now they can just walk into a girl's bathroom. A dude can just walk into a girl's bathroom.
They cannot.
Now there's no
it has
questioning.
to be. It has to align with their gender identity.
How do you know it? Okay, so let's role play a little bit. There's this little,
Mm.
there's this, teenager, 16, let's say. I don't have 18. Okay. 18-year-old girl. She's in the bathroom. at the sink, washing her hands, whatever. Some older dude walks in. I don't know, 40, older than her is what I meant. 30, 40, whatever. Now he has an excuse to be there.
He does not have an excuse.
Because no, if legally that girl tries
I
to
get
sue him.
some people are concerned about safety.
Hold on.
Stop interrupting me.
Okay, sorry. You interrupted me first, just so you know.
No, I didn't.
You did. We can go back in the
Well,
recording.
you interrupted me.
Okay, fine.
before.
Go.
Now I forget what I was gonna say.
Maybe I
I
should
would
just.
say, okay, look it up to see if there's any statistics on crimes that have been reported.
It's rape by deception is the term for it. You're deceiving someone because you're perceived by them to be someone else. That
I
you're
read
actually not.
somewhere that there has been no increase since that law.
I didn't look at that. Perhaps I acted too.
Yeah,
Um,
perhaps.
I didn't wanna just
You know, it's
act on first instinct. I wanted to kind of just research a little bit. Look into
I did
it.
research a little bit.
No, I wanted to.
I did too.
I wanted to look into it and be like, oh, I want to say yes, but what do I actually need to say? And I just so hold on. Back to my analogy.
We don't need this
No,
analogy.
you do, because I don't
No.
think I think people are just gonna be.
I get people are concerned about safety, and that is a valid concern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was why I said no.
But discrimination, Ryan.
You what? You're not even talking to the microphone.
I'm
What if-
not.
Well, you were, but not like you should probably pull it a little more this way if you're gonna keep on leaning this way.
Okay, is this good?
That's good. If you want to lean towards me a little bit and pull the microphone with you,
Oh no, it's fine.
so you're just gonna lock your head like this and.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But no, back to my analogy. I'm gonna say it because it supports my point.
I don't want to hear your analogy.
Hold
I
on.
get it. I get
Hold
what
on.
point you're gonna make.
Hold
so
on.
shush.
If the girl is like, "Oh, I'm feeling
Ryan.
uncomfortable right now," hold on, stop.
Right.
The girl, what? What?
Shush.
Why?
Because I get it.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I feel like the listeners at home need to understand where
I
I'm
feel like
coming
they
from.
don't.
Well, I'm trying to get them to what I was thinking. I don't believe this anymore. Just so you know, if I could go back in time, I would say
I
yes to that question.
understand there's a question of safety, and
I just
understand that
acted
people
too
are
abruptly.
concerned, and I understand that's why many people
That's
said
I'm
no.
just saying this is why I said no. This is why I said no at the time.
It's valid. I get your
Safety thing.
points.
Legally a safety thing. That was what I was thinking. And I still think that is, but now I'm thinking, well, that doesn't warrant discrimination because the majority of these cases isn't discrimination. It's just making a majority of people comfortable because now they're I'm glad the law is upheld, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad the law is upheld. Why is there a piece of tape here?
Okay, we could just leave it at that.
Yeah.
We understand that people have different
Look.
opinions. We don't. I don't know where I was going with that. We respect your opinions.
Yeah, if you have different opinions from us, we completely get it.
Yeah.
We have different opinions. We are completely opposite,
I don't.
which
think,
is
I
what
don't-
our next topic is.
I don't think we're completely opposite. I honestly
Not
don't.
now, but like another episode.
I honestly don't think we're completely opposite.
We are.
I don't think we are.
We could pitch anything right now.
Okay, go for it.
Favorite pie?
I'm not a really big fan of pie.
I disagree. I love pie.
I mean, chocolate.
No, apple.
I was gonna say apple. Apple or chocolate.
I'm gonna say apple now that I know it's Ryan's favorite, and I don't want to
That's
look like an
not
idiot.
true. Apple. Well, apple would be my favorite fruit, and chocolate would be my favorite overall.
So it's chocolate apple. Oh, I thought you were gonna combine the two, like make a zombie.
A zombie?
Make a zombie pie, just a chocolate apple pie,
I
a
don't-
chocolate covered apple pie.
That sounds disgusting.
No, that sounds actually wonderful. Chocolate crust, dude,
Ew.
with apples.
Ew.
Have you ever had a chocolate covered apple?
No.
That's awesome. That's
Like
awesome.
apples. Like,
Apples that are dipped in, like you know how you dip
I-
strawberries in chocolate.
love-
Do it with an apple.
I love chocolate strawberries.
We're getting off topic.
Those are so delicious.
We're nearing
love-
the end.
do
We're
we-
at
do
we're
we
at
strawberries?
50 minutes, Cass.
We can split it into two parts.
No, this is going up as one.
No, it's going up as two because no one's gonna want to listen to this as one.
They totally will.
No, they won't.
Um,
Ryan. We're
so-
gonna split this up. I'm
Okay,
just
we'll
saying
split it
that.
up. It's up to the editors.
What was that laugh?
No. So, if you have different political views from us,
Cool.
great. We're not saying we're right. We can be. Politics can be argued either way. There is no right and wrong in politics. It's what you've perceived to be right. That being said, where we have different opinions, we each think that we're right. On question 3, I admit I acted too harshly. If you're still here, which you are because you're listening to this,
And because it's in 2 parts.
and because it's in 2 parts,
Not as one terrible.
splitting it up would be weird though. But hey, we'll do it. We'll think about it. We'll pitch it to our team.
Our team is us.
Our team, yeah, our team is us.
It's us.
Dude, I wanted to.
No one's gonna believe it.
Well, we could have if you didn't say it. Hey, it's just us sitting
Okay,
up in
no,
our
Staying
studio.
on topic, we respect everyone. We respect their opinions.
Yes, we respect your opinions. Question 3. I know I was.
Well, again, there's no right and wrong.
There is no right and wrong.
There are concerns on both sides.
But
we accept
if I had to go back, I would change my vote from a no vote to a
Not
yes
that it
vote.
would really matter because
It wouldn't matter because it was
Still
yes either
pass.
way. It was blown. All these questions were blown up.
yeah.
out of the
well,
water.
we're a very liberal state.
Yeah, we are majority. Places, farther south, and
I think we should end this soon.
we should.
It's getting way too long.
How do you
Thanks
end it?
for listening.
Yeah, thanks
to
for
this
listening,
so
guys.
far.
If you sat through this whole thing, this is going up in one part, cast.
No, it's going up in
It's
2,
going
Ryan.
up in one part. It's going in one part.
Ryan,
Final.
I'm serious.
Decision's
It's gonna
final.
go up in 2.
Nope, one.
It's not gonna go up in one. Almost an hour
That's
long.
awesome.
Pod.
If someone's
terrible.
okay, think about it. People are going to be
Ryan,
driving
we're gonna
back
s-
to
we're
school
gonna-
on Tuesday.
We're gonna split it up into 2.
Nah, this is one man.
Ryan,
All right, we'll think about it. We'll discuss
we're
it.
gonna split it up into
We'll
2.
discuss it. I don't know.
We're gonna split.
Okay. Wasting time.
Promise we'll split it up. Don't cross your fingers.
I'm not crossing no crossies.
We're pinky promising.
We're not holding hands. We're pinky promising.
You
not for
just
the
made
cameras.
this weird, Ryan.
No.
Can we end this now,
I
please?
know many brothers and sisters that hold hands.
Who? Yeah, little kids.
I'm not going to say who. We're bleeping out names.
Who?
You saying it away from the microphone doesn't make a difference. Who, Ryan? Who? Tell me. I'm talking 5 inches farther away from the microphone. They can't hear me. Yes, they can. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well,
Can we end this?
do you have anything else to say? Anything else to add?
It's been great.
It has been great. I think so. We're gonna probably continue this every Monday. We're gonna upload an episode every Monday. The exception being opening day. We're uploading 2. A little treat, if you like it.
Because it's going to be split into 2. Because...
In that case, we're doing 3.
No, we're doing 2.
We need to record 2 more casts. You're not gonna be home for 2 weeks.
We'll just record it then.
No, we can't because we need to have 2 in between.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. And we're doing that today because we have no other time to do it. They'll be shorter though.
Can we end this? How would we say? Goodbye, everyone.
This is gonna look so unprofessional.
It is unprofessional.
Well, you're right, but I'm just saying. It looks very unprofessional.
It's because of the stupid lights.
What?
We need that light, Ryan.
That has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
What's this, Ryan? What are we in a gas station?
How is this a gas station?
Fluorescent lights. They're making me feel like I'm under like
There's
a
softer lights.
microscope.
Cass.
They are not soft lights.
Oh my goodness.
That is a soft light. That is a harsh light, Ryan.
You want to see a harsh light? Because we can take off the cover and it'll be much brighter.
No.
Exactly. Okay, everybody. Thank you for listening. We probably will be back.
It's been great.
It has been great. We'll probably be back. It depends on the success of this episode and subsequent episodes. But yeah,
If we don't come back.
if we don't come back, call someone. All right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.